Hey everyone! Welcome back to another video. My name is Emily and this is my 9-year-old son, Luke. Today we're going to be doing 4 different studies that are going to help us learn how to paint different skies in watercolor. So we'll be going over masking, lifting, glazing, and the wet on wet technique. You can actually use these as warm-ups for just before you start painting anything. It's a lot of fun. Grab your big brushes, your watercolor paints, and your paper, and let's jump in. All right, really quick, let's talk about our supplies. Today I'm using 100% cotton paper. I'll show you guys. This is Canson Heritage rough pressed paper, 140 pound, pure cotton. If you want to get similar results to what we're doing, it's best to use 100% cotton paper. And you can see I've just split the page in half so we each have a sheet, and I've divided it into 4 with painter's tape. So I just use Blick painter's tape, 1/2 inch, works great. So with the rough pressed paper, it's just a little bit more textured than some other kinds of paper, and that's going to help us get that look of like fluffy clouds. So the first one we're going to do today is masking, and we're going to start in our first square right here, and I want us to use something called masking fluid. So if you're not familiar with this, all kinds of brands make this, but it's basically liquid latex. You paint it onto your watercolor paper, either using a brush, or I'm going to be using a stylus, or you can use something called a rubber brush, just got a silicone tip. And we're going to just paint little dots of this over the paper. We'll let it dry for about 10 minutes, so we'll move on to another one while it's drying. And then we can paint over the top, and the areas where the liquid latex is painted are protected. So they're going to stay white, and we peel them off at the end. So let's start with that. Oops, a little goopy. Also, I should mention we each have a water jar and paper towel, and we each have a fairly large watercolor brush. These are just round brushes by Princeton. And it doesn't really matter what kind of paints you use. Any watercolor paints will work fine. Okay, so here's the masking fluid. You can see it's just this white goopy stuff. Luke, do you want to use the stylus or the rubber brush?
Rubber brush.
Rubber brush, okay. So you just dip into the masking fluid, and you're just going to dot over your paper. Now you don't have to dip that deep and just touch lightly so you just have little tiny dots. The bigger your dots are, the longer it's going to take them to dry. So this one, as you can already guess, could either be stars if you decide to paint over it really dark, or what I want to do is make snow, a snowy scene. So kind of a snowy sky or background. Nice. All right. So you can see using a brush is a little bit tricky because you actually could damage the bristles. That's why I prefer to use something that's hard like this. All right, we'll set those aside. And while these are drying, we're going to move on to our next technique. For this one, we're going to do 1 layer of color, a color of the sky, and then we'll also let that dry. So we're going to get to practice something called a flat wash. So start by dipping your brush in the water so that it's nice and wet, and then scrape the side of your brush along the lip of the jar to remove any excess water. Then you're going to grab a color and mix it up on your palette. How about a sky color? Could be violet or blue, or I'll do violet. Mine's going to be a violet sky.
Mine's going to be blue.
Nice. And so swirl it around in your palette first so you get a loaded brush in a milky consistency. And you want to have lots of paint to work with because we're going to need to cover that entire square with color. So yeah, you might even need to dip in the water and grab some more water onto your palette. Just a light dip. There you go. Now, when you swirl, try not to smash your bristles down. Just grab the edge of the paint. See how I'm grabbing the edge of the paint and reactivating it and pulling it out into my palette. There's a whole art to grabbing paint from your palette, isn't there? Now Luke's a lefty. So here we go. We're gonna have a fully loaded brush, and we're gonna start at the top of our square and just as quickly as we can fill in the space. And I want it to be lighter, so I'm dipping my brush in the water and grabbing more. Now grab some more paint. Yep, and go quickly, and we wanna make a totally flat wash, connecting it all the way over. So we're filling in the entire square. Perfect. Great. Beautiful. And then leave it alone. So the temptation is to go in and kind of mess with your flat wash, but that looks gorgeous. All right, rinse your brush out. And we're going to let that dry. Once it's dry, we can do something, like I said, called glazing. But we'll come back to that in a minute. So the next technique is called lifting. For this one, we're going to do another flat wash, like what we just did here. And we're going to create a sky color. And then we're going to actually lift some of the color out to create clouds. You excited?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's use our blue again, or we could use a different blue.
I'm going to use
Maybe
a different
this one. Ooh, this one's good. That one's good too. And there's tons of mixing space up here too if you want to mix a color up there. Make sure you have more water. The goal here is to mix up enough paint on your palette so that you don't run out when you do your flat wash. So this is the hardest part, is just kind of figuring out, oh, how much paint do I need to fill that whole square? And also, what consistency should the paint be? And it needs to be at least watery or milky, not thick and creamy, or it's not going to flow on the paper. So I just keep dipping my brush in the water and adding it to my puddle. Just a little dip and add it to the puddle until I'm confident that I have a big enough puddle for a whole sky. Are you ready? You have a bigger brush, so it's easier for you. Okay, here we go. We're going to do another flat wash as quick as we can all across our sky. And you're doing a good job using nice horizontal brush strokes and working really fast to fill in that entire rectangle. Now we have to work quickly while our paint is still damp. So rinse your brush out, rinse your brush all the way, and then dry it on your paper towel. Then start to go in and scrub out some cloud shapes. Then rinse your brush again and get rid of that paint that's on your brush. So rinse it out and dry it. And lift some more color up. It should be dry. Uh-oh, too wet, too wet, too wet. There you go. Dry the brush and scrub out some paint. See how we're making little cloud shapes in that damp paint? You can also take your paper towel, squeeze out all the water from it. I have a damp paper towel, and I can lift and blot with that too. Do you want to try it?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to use your brush. You can also use paper towel. And that can make some really interesting cloud shapes too. But make sure you switch around what part of the paper towel you use so you're not accidentally adding in more blue. We're trying to lift the blue out. Now mine made some weird little shapes here. I'm not so sure what I think of that. I like your clouds better. There we go. So that is the lifting technique. Useful for lifting out clouds from your sky. Now the last one is called the wet and wet technique, and I love this one. It's so great for making super puffy, fluffy clouds, cotton candy clouds. Now we have pretty tinted water, so we're gonna swap out our water really quick and be right back. Okay, for our last one, we're using the wet and wet technique. We have fresh water jars. I've cleaned up my palette a little bit. Now this one is super fun for creating soft, fluffy clouds and different colors in the clouds. I think today we're just going to keep it really simple by starting with clear water and painting it all over our rectangle. Now when we paint our clouds, we have to think backwards. We're not actually going to be painting clouds. We're going to be painting the blue sky around the clouds. So you have to think about it in a backwards way. All right, so is it edge to edge? All wet. That looks pretty good. We should have a glossy and shiny surface to work with. Not too dry, not too soaking wet. That looks pretty good. Okay, now grab your blue, whatever blue you want to use. I'm going to use cerulean again. And this time your paint needs to be creamy, not watery. So that's a little too wet. It needs to be kind of creamy on your brush. Because we already have a wet surface on our paper, if it's too wet, just dry a little bit on your paper towel. Just blot on your paper towel. So here we're mixing up a super creamy mixture on our palette and removing any extra water from our brush. So yeah, just grab some thick paint. There you go. That looks good. We have creamy paint on our brush. Now we're going to go in and start to paint what we imagine would be around the clouds. So I'm kind of painting in the corner of my shapes and leaving some of the white of the paper to represent cloud shapes. So you have to imagine the clouds first and paint the blue sky around them. Kind of tricky, isn't it? But it's super fun. So yeah, it takes a little bit of control because you have to decide where to stop. You're not coloring in the whole thing. But look at how fuzzy those edges are. That looks great. Soft, fuzzy cloud edges. Nice work. And then you leave it alone and let it dry. So let's check our masking fluid. Is it dry yet? Those look a little wet still. All right, I think these are dry enough that we can do our glazing next. So what we're gonna do is paint a little bit of a silhouette, like a mountain or a tree or something in front of the sky. And so this is called glazing, when we take a layer of wet paint and paint it across a totally dry painted surface. It's just layering, that's all it is, wet on dry. So for my mountain silhouette, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this dark green actually, and I'm gonna paint a mountain silhouette over the top of my purple sky. Just bumpy mountain shape. Creamy paint works best if you want it to be really dark. That's nice. Good job. Then I think just for fun, I'm going to put a little bird up here. Couple little birds. Wow, nice. I love your trees. So because your sky is almost like a daytime blue sky, this looks like a beautiful grove of trees in front of it. That's lovely. Our masking fluid is now dry enough that we can start painting over the top of it without risking it getting all gummy and smeary. It was about, 15 minutes that we waited, probably. So we're gonna take a turquoise color for this. I like this color here. Isn't that pretty? And you can use a watery or milky consistency. So adding in just a dollop of water to that will help it be nice and watery. And the reason it needs to be watery is because we're painting on dry paper. So if you want your paint to flow smoothly across the dry paper, you need more water. All right, so you ready? Let's add it in. I'm actually gonna not cover the whole thing with this color. I'm gonna add a second color in just for fun. I'm gonna drop in this cerulean blue in addition. It's kind of fun to do, watch your, It's sort of fun to add a second color along with the first one. And add in some water too. It's like drop in some water so you have lighter patches of paint and darker patches of paint. Looks a little bit too consistent. Add some lighter colors too. We want it to feel like a snow flurry. So I'm just dropping in some of that other blue with it. Very, very wet. Okay, now scrape the extra water out of your brush on your paper towel or... So look at how you dropped in all this water here. Now look at what's happening. Isn't that interesting? So what's happening here is that extra water is pushing into this paint that's drying faster. And that's creating something called blooms. And I wanted to do this anyway. So blooms are really beautiful. Blooms are what happen when you put droplets of water into an area that's already beginning to dry. See how it's exploding? Look at that. Let's take a little more of this water and just soak it up with the brush and drop it somewhere else. Try it. Soak it up with your brush and drop it into another area of the painting. And I'm going to take some of this water and drop it into mine. Just barely touch the surface. You're just going, doop, one teeny little touch of water. Boop. Try not to scrub it. I think that's good. So Luke's really looks like a frosted window pane, doesn't it? That's exactly what we're going for. I wanted it to look like snow flurries, and it totally does. That's awesome. So when you add extra water to an area that's starting to dry, you get blooms, or sometimes they call it the cauliflower effect, which I think is sort of a negative sounding term. I like to call them blooms. And if you know how to do them, they can be the most beautiful technique. Mine aren't even as good as yours, something you did different. I think you just had more water. So now just leave it alone and let's let it dry and let's see what happens. Now, we all know the hardest part about painting is having to wait for the paint to dry, right? So we just went and took a break, and now we're back, and the masking fluid and the paint are all dry. So we are ready to just carefully, with clean, dry fingers, rub the masking fluid off really gently. And you can kind of just feel where it's still stuck there. But look at how it's leaving perfect little white snowflakes for our little snowstorms here.
Like you're inside a snow globe.
Yeah. And you can just take a dry, large brush and gently wipe it away. Is it still a little tacky on that one?
It's okay.
Wow. Yours truly looks like a frosty window. That's so neat. And look at how different our paintings ended up. We used similar colors except for these two and the same techniques, but it's amazing how we each have our own style. And this is really fun. So now the best part, we get to just remove the tape. So let's carefully peel it off. Hopefully we have some nice straight borders. Mine leaked underneath a little bit. Oops. Oh well. An extra cloud. There we go. Wow. Well, there's our finished cloud studies. Use these as a warm-up or just to practice these techniques. You can do them over and over with all different colors. Thanks for joining us today.
See you in another video.